happy 2024. I am so glad we both made it. And we're here to do the Keys transit, our first of 2024. So here we have this new moon in Capricorn coming up that wants to show us like what it takes to succeed, man. They want to know what it means to really be successful. And in the shadow here, we're going to talk about the whole extension. So first, let's talk about the quantum human design from Karen Curry Parker. That is divine inspiration. So it's when we get that initial spark of idea that we want to create something new. That and the gene key is the shadow of greed, the gift of aspiration, and the city of ascension. And as you know, uh, there's a reason for that, right? So Richard Rudd talks about that greed quotient as the desire to acquire material evidence of success. And so we just want evidence that we did something, we put in the work, we obviously are doing something good because there is our success trophy right there. I find that this runs into a lot of problems because a lot of times they're picking up trophies that we were told to want to achieve, and it's not an actual success measurement that we value. So I call it, I have a saying, don't work your butt off for other people's version of success. When you should be working on this version that you will feel successful with. So, and that means satisfied. That means that you did something of value, that you think of yourself more for completing it. Okay. And so that greed expression is this really this desire to um, get without trust. Essentially, greed is comes from not being able to trust. So Richard Rudd puts it aspiration. Well, he says it as aspiration without trust, which is essentially what slows down all economy and how you make money too. So that includes your cycle. Economy is the country's cycle. Your cycle is like, when do I have money? When will I have money? Do I have money? And why don't I have money anymore? Like that cycle can feel like you're constantly trying to get what you deserve, right? That greed feeling. And it multiplies because that lack of trust basically says, oh, I need more because I can't trust that I will be able to do without it, that I family will have enough because I don't believe you will help me if, right? So that's that kind of domino effect of greed in our current corporate society of we'll take more for us, whether it's the company, whether it's the people at the top of the company, in order to make sure that we always have enough. And then we're not worried about the people down the totem pole, so to speak. Greed will compromise its own integrity. So, and the need or the fear of not having enough will drive it to do things that's not within its own value set. And then it's also, when you look at that programming partner, which is the other side of the chart, is 53, and that shadows immaturity. So this is basically never learning past where we could have already learned the lesson. So basically, a lot of us put that in a framework of age so people can be immature if they should know something by now, type of thing. And so that is the definition of immaturity. And that's what happens if we stay in this lack of trust. If we never trust anybody, then we're always going to be pushing for the highest denominator for us and the lowest denominator for anybody who isn't us. But we can say that's not our tribe, that's not our company, that's not our family, right? It becomes that kind of conversation. So, what can this be? It can be aspiration. It can just be the desire to improve overall, to improve the quality of life for somebody, to improve people's life experience or their where they get to live. If the whole is served, then a lot of times we are living that true vision of prosperity in my eyes, which is when I do better, everybody that's connected to me does better, right? And that is a way of upholding that integrity and saying, well, if my life improves, I expect the people around me's life to improve. I can help more businesses that I have the same ideals and desires for love and for everybody to feel safe and all that in society. I can I can share my abundance with people and places and products like that, right? And so it creates more abundance in our places of integrity. And we want that as the trickle down theory rather than the current synopsis, right? So, what does this have to do with business? A lot. It's the beginning of business, is why we even have the idea that we could help somebody else, is because we think things can be better. So, what is that thing? Um, Now, what I want you to know, especially as a business, if you're in business mode, then you want to know this concept. Richard Rudd says, ambition is not desperate. Okay. How do I know I'm being greedy? I'm just charging my rate, right? Well, if you're charging your rate out of desperation, you're being greedy. If you're charging your rate because you don't believe you'll have enough if you don't charge that rate. So this is a really good question for all of us to really see if we're in integrity with ourselves around what we charge. And this is not to question your value, because if you're charging your value and for your metric of society and where you are in your journey and where you have a vision to accomplish, then it's perfect for you. This is not about whether your price is too much or that's a comparison to somebody else, right? This is about, is it integrity with what you know you deserve and for the value you provide? Is it integrity? That's a good question, right? You can often check in with this. Either you have to, like, kind of again bring yourself into alignment with your knowing, uh, which can also happen when we aren't speaking our prices, when we're not willing to, or when we are feeling nervous when we are speaking our prices. I mean, nervousness happens regardless a lot of times, but are we nervous because we want people to like us and buy our value, or are we nervous because we aren't sure that we are charging the right rate, right? Now, some of us over question this, and we should just trust that we have a sense of our value and the right number came up. And then the other of us, you know, we really just want to keep checking in and do that integrity test. Just see, do a muscle test. Is this the highest to my highest, and those who are in connection with me's highest good, right? Ask the question. If we're not afraid to ask the question, then that's where things get a little murky. Okay. So as long as you're willing to ask the question, then you're probably in integrity. And if you're not, then we need to start self evaluating a little bit. So, and not to stay in immaturity. So that doesn't mean you're charging the same price for the rest of the existence of your business, right? Around one product. So that's another thing. So those are a couple throws. So for content, what are we focusing on this time? What does your business, what does your client, and what does your community around your business, what do they aspire to? What are they hoping to achieve? What is the transformation they desire, is how most people say it. But like, if you're having trouble with that languaging, just where are they trying to get? What kind of lives do they want to live? Right? And then how can you help them live the life that they want to live? That's the aspiration of your community. Okay. Then the way you invest your energy. So this is a good time to check in. Are you putting too much time on making things make money? This is something I think of as also like, How much time are you spending on marketing? How much time are you spending on different facets of your business? Are you spending time with your creative capabilities, like your products? And are you giving it enough time to be fully nourished before we make it make money? Okay, so a lot of people do this by doing kind of polls of their community, while giving out tips, like the 5 top tips around something. And that's a great content-based polls. Find out if you're investing your energy in the right place. Okay. There's some things that people want from you, and there's like what you want to bring to the market, and then you want to find where those things meet and start having that conversation. So polls are a great way to find out where they meet. This is what I'm up to. This is what I'm interested in. What are y'all interested in? Do you like this one? Do you like this one? Which one do you like better? Right? Those conversations with your community help you to know where to invest your time and energy in your content and in your products and offerings. Okay. So those are what I have for you today. It's a short one, but I think we all know that we're all aspiring to greatness. Aspiration in the golden path, that ultimate aspiration is just the desire for us to live into a higher sense of being, into more light, more love, more joy, more sense of life, vitality, all of those things. So that aspiration can be spiritual as well. And I think this is a good time to say that if you're doing spiritual work, that is also of value. And maybe for somebody in a different culture, in a different community, in a different time, in a different place, may have not needed to charge, but check in with you and check in with what is best for you and your community as far as what that value, where that value truly lies. You'll know if you're not making enough because you're probably not charging enough. I mean, if you're not charging enough because you probably don't have energy. You're probably running out of energy. You're probably ready to quit. That's how you know. That's how you know you're in the wrong job, and how you know you're not charging enough. So if you're at the wrong job, find a new job. You don't have to quit. Just find one that gives you energy. And the same thing about your business. If what you're doing right now is not giving you energy, then find something that does, or charge enough. Those are usually the 2 major points of what's going on with what you're doing doesn't feel satisfying or nurturing, and then what you are making doesn't feel like the right compensation. So really good ways of losing energy on a transaction. Okay, so I say transaction, I mean emotion. That's like mostly energy. It's just energy. Money is just energy. Love, the sharingness of things, all of it is just energy. And so if we're losing energy during a sharing experience, then we know we've missed out on something, because energy is neither created or destroyed. So where did yours go? Where did it go? You gave it away. It's the only way you can lose it. You gave it away without, well, you're losing it as you didn't know you gave it away. Right? So what are you not knowing that you're giving away in value that's costing you energy? Okay. We did it. Number 1 is slated. I will see you on the next moon cycle. Thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate you being here. And if I don't see you in chat on YouTube, then I'd love to see you at one of my events. Check my links in the comments.